This is the Healing Hour for August the 6th, 2019. This is your host, Tyson Bannigan, the Luminator, your number one health, wealth, and enlightenment activator. Need some help? Give me a call toll free, 1 369 7464. Hello, this is Tyson Bannigan. This is the Healing Hour, and I'm live with you for the next hour. And there's three ways in which you can join me. You can phone in toll free 1-866-369-7464 or 1-866-Dowsing. You can also click on the link. You'll see the link in the description above the video that you're watching. Click the link that says Zoom and join me on the Zoom call live. Also, you can phone in toll free. The number, like I said, is 1-866-369-7464. And as we get ready to rock and roll, please let your network know that we are live. And don't forget that you can type in your requests for clearings or your questions about dowsing and energy healing in the comments below the video as you watch. Elizabeth Randall, good to see you on board. And if you have any questions, please ask away. So just got off an interview. It was really a lot of fun. It was with Elijah Keating, and we were talking about what it is to be an empath and what does it mean to have your Kundalini running, and what are some of the symptoms about that. What about dyslexia? Is that a symptom of raising consciousness? What about all the different diagnoses that we have, like Asperger, and all those different ways in which we label children? Are they all aspects of a new way of showing up on planet Earth, a new way of dealing with energy, a new way almost of communicating non-verbally, like telepathic? Are they the forerunners of how we're going to be able to show up and commune without having to use language? And are these kids already telepathic and find it difficult and dyslexic when they try to use the English or the languages on planet Earth? So those are all the questions that are really foremost in our minds as we talk about these subjects. All right, so while we wait for people to show up, just to let you know, the map dowsing course, the second version, actually got recorded this time, now available for $33. If you've already paid, please let me know by email or by messenger that you paid, and I'll give you the link to watch the video. It will also be uploaded and be a course in the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy, so you can also join it there. But if you've already paid, by all means, you get to you get to have it sent to you, and you get it for free. If you haven't paid, let me know, and we'll give you the link to pay, and so you can have access to the map dowsing course. It was exciting for me teaching the course, and then all of a sudden realizing that Trudy was able to find $800 that was missing, $900, as a matter of fact, from her daughter Abby was missing her $900 in her wallet, and she was able to use the technique that I taught using the latitude and longitude method, be able to locate the money very quickly. So it's a nice confirmation that this actually does work, and you can learn how to do this very straightforward. Remember, we try and keep things simple here and straightforward. So if you're just tuning in, this is Tyson Bannigan, the energy detective, the illuminator, helping bring you and humanity into the light, and with you for the top until the top of the hour, which will be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 7 o'clock Eastern Standard. So I'm here to answer all your questions on dowsing energy healing. And also you can phone in toll free 1-866-369-7464 or 1-866-Dowsing, or click the Zoom link in the comments where you're watching the live show now, or you can just type in your requests where you're into the comment section where you're watching the video now. So I'm just going to scroll up and see if there's anybody showing up. Tony K, sorry to hear you were solo yesterday. Yeah, I actually talked to myself and recorded it. So yeah, I had my own session in the Letting Go Book Club, and we had a great conversation between me and myself and I. And so I recorded it and put it up. I don't know what happened to everybody else, but yeah, it was interesting to do this on my own. And yeah, so what we were talking about was desire. Desire as the creator, or desire as Baba Ramdas says, creator is a desire or creator as a trap. Desire as an obstacle, the difference between having and doing and being, the glamour of our civilization or culture and how we can get entrapped in it, and the power over inner decision making. There's still time for you to join us in the Letting Go Book Club. Learn how to manage your emotions from the lowest emotions through to the upper emotions. Climb the ladder to enlightenment. Start off with processing all these emotions on this graph. At the bottom is shame, guilt, fear, apathy, desire, anger, pride, courage, and then you cross the borderline of all the ones that you lose energy, right? And you climb the ladder into neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. So why not go from humiliation to ineffable bliss? Who doesn't want ineffable bliss? Who doesn't want a life of ease and grace? Who doesn't want to learn how to get back into the divine flow? All right. And there's Lizzie Bishop. Good day to you. So type in your requests or questions. And don't forget, you can also phone in. And also, I forgot to post that there's also toll-free numbers, I think, worldwide here. So let me just see if I can find that right now. Optimize full screen. No, that's not what we wanted to do. Okay, we wanted to do an invite. Let me see here. Is there any quick way of doing this? No, it's not. All right, so there are links, and I don't know whether they're in the description above that you can phone in toll free anywhere in the world. If you're in North America, or you can phone North America, it's 1-866-369-7464. And we're just looking that we have a participant here that's showing up here, and we'll just let them in. Oh, here's Elizabeth Keating, allowed to talk. All right, so let's see here. We're going to promote her to panelists. Hello, hello, can you hear me? There you are. I can't hear you. Do you have your speaker off? Oh, here, I can, unmute. Unmute. Huh. Let me see if I could just give me here a sec here. Stop video, chat, make host. I don't know. You should be able to speak, but it looks like you still got a line through your speaker there. Unmute. How about that? No, okay, we're gonna make you a co-host. That will give you all the power in the world. No, still can't do that. Unmute all. Okay. Still doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear you now. There you are. Okay. Well, welcome. We just had a wonderful conversation, and here you are back again.
Yeah, it was extremely good conversation. Thank you very much. And I had people messaging me afterwards telling me how much they enjoyed it.
Oh, great. That was wonderful. Yeah, so welcome to the Healing Hour, and this is your chance to answer all those questions you've been posing for our next interview on dowsing and energy healing. So do you have any questions?
Do I have a little bit? I wanted to ask, and I put my questions away. So there's 3 levels. This dowsing, right? This is not talking about empathy, right?
No, yeah, we can do anything you want.
Okay.
Anything is allowed.
So one of the questions I was going to ask you was I was doing a little research before our interview, and the psychologists have found 3 levels of empathy: cognitive, emotional, and compassionate, which is a combination of the 2. How do you find that works for when you're working with people?
Well, empathy is a very, very powerful force. I mean, it has to do with caring. The thing with empathy is you can be too empathic and get overwhelmed by it. Like we said, if we're already empaths, right?
Yeah.
Already psychic, then being empathic or having empathy with somebody else can mean we get entangled in their stuff. And so we really need to know what. So the first thing, if you were an empath, I'd say, is this mine or is it yours? Or is this mine or somebody else's? And if it's not mine, then is it my business, yes or no? And if it's no, leave it alone.
How do you tell?
How do you tell? By either by a yes, no with dowsing or muscle testing. Do you know how to do muscle testing?
Oh, yeah.
Or body sway. So for those that don't know muscle testing or don't know dowsing, you can just stand up and yes as you want to lean forward, fall forward, and a no is going back. So your body always knows. So sort of
for the hair is this one.
Yeah. So if it's tight, it's a yes, and if it's easy, it's a no. So that's what I do. Is it mine or is it somebody else's? So that's the first question I'd ask. Then you had 3 levels there. So what were the 3 levels again?
Cognitive, which where you go into fixing mode, and emotional, when you go into emotional support, and which is neither one of them are the best. And the third one was compassionate, where you take both the emotional and the cognitive and in a balanced way.
Compassion, I think it's important to know that there's 2 types of compassion that or how I see it is there's what I call cold compassion. You have no feeling about it, right? And then there's hot compassion where you actually feel you're not over it and you're not entwined with it either, you know? Yeah. That's what you want to have is compassion. You want to have your heart open, but you don't want it overwhelmed. You want to be able to radiate that love into the world, but you don't want to be devoured alive, right?
Yes.
So hopefully that makes sense to you.
It makes a great deal of sense.
Those gradients really have to do with, are you coming from, the first one would be, are you in your rational body and just in your analytic mind? Or coming from your emotional body, or are you grounded body? And all 3 of those will give you different ways of showing up, right? So one of the reasons I like to work with people around doing quantum sound therapy is I can graph, are they predominantly living in their emotional body, or they are in their mental body, or are they fully grounded? And most people are not grounded, like we talked about before. 75% of the population is not in their body.
I suspect it's higher, but
well, we'll be nice. We want to be nice. We don't want.
That's true. But with all the surges of energy that have come in lately, I think more people are out of balance than even people who are generally grounded.
Yes.
With the new energy that's been coming in, there is a lot of people who have been thrown out of balance.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
So Trudy's going to join us. So Trudy, how are you? Can you hear us? There she is.
I see.
Good morning, Trudy.
I don't know if she can hear you.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. And how is things in Australia?
Great.
Good. Good. Looks like you just came out of your shower.
Yeah, it's 7:30 here in the morning.
Yeah, nice and early. Yeah.
So
we just did an interview here, so say hello to Liz here.
Hi.
Hi, Liz.
It's Elisha.
Elijah, sorry.
Oh, Elijah, yeah.
Yeah. It's all right.
We just did an interview, and then she was smart enough to jump onto this and carry on with her questions. So there we are. So congratulations
okay,
on map dowsing. That was amazing. You know, being able to show that you learned it like boom, like that, and find out 900 smackaroos real quick.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that and say thank you because, yeah, I picked up a lot from the map dowsing that we did, the short course. And yeah, my daughter, it's funny how that happens, right? I hadn't used it since we had done the map dowsing that morning, and I hadn't done anything with it. And then, yeah, she just rang in such a panic with the baby, and she's like, Mum, I have to leave the house. And I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm 200 Ks away. And then and she didn't want to get off the phone. And I was like, okay, why don't I go get my pendulum out of the car and draw a map? And so I sat down and did that. And it took me about 15 minutes to, I could pick up other bits, which seemed to be the bathroom. Yeah. And so I'm not sure what that was. And it picked up the bathroom slightly. But otherwise, I narrowed it down very quickly to the lounge room, and she went straight in and found it. So that was amazing.
Great. Did you have to go smaller? Did you have to make it smaller than the lounge room? Did you have to figure out where, or was the lounge room close enough?
Well, I had to check whether it was going to be the car or the house first. Yeah. So then I narrowed it down to the house. Then I drew the map of the house. Then I covered half of the map and asked, was it in the top half of the house, bottom half of the house? And that was a little bit, but it was in the center, so it wasn't sure. So now I know why, because I was trying to do it really quickly. It was actually really in the center of the house. So then I thought, no, what other method can I use? So I was like, the one that stood out the most in the map dowsing for me was to do the 2-axis, to work down the side of
latitude. Right.
Yeah, so I just worked down the side of the page and asked for my pendulum to show a difference in its swing when I get to where the purse is, and then I just made the 2 locations, drew them across and said, go here in the house. And she had actually my little granddaughter had jammed her purse down at the end of the bed and jammed it down into the bottom. So,
wow. Great story. Wonderful.
So now I have a lady that I went to a family constellations on the weekend workshop.
Yeah.
It was so good, but I met a lady there when we first started to go around the group, and she said she's lost her ring. And that's what I did at the map dowsing. We checked whether my ring wanted to be found, my grandmother's ring, and it doesn't want to be found. But this lady, she was gardening the day before the constellations, and her big diamond that her grandmother gave her has fell out of her engagement ring. So I got her to draw a map last night, and she sent that to me. So I'm just working at the moment along the 2-axis, trying to locate this diamond in her front garden where she's been gardening all day. So,
wow. Then you can go diamond mining after that.
Let's hope.
Or looking for opals in Australia.
Yeah.
Right. Well done. Yeah. It doesn't have to be complicated, does it?
No, but I can feel a fear in me that what if I'm not right? Because it's about something that's so important and costs so much money. I could actually feel last night this fear in me of what if I get this wrong? What if I tell the lady the wrong spot and she's looking for this little tiny diamond essentially in grass, or it looks like a path, like there's a pathway, and I was like, oh, what if I'm wrong? What if this isn't? So I could feel that
nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
What if it had to do working with the angelic kingdom and giving it to them? And then it's up to them. I mean, you're just a conduit. I think that's the most important thing, you know. Who's doing the meditation? Who's doing the dowsing? Who's there? You know, are we the hollow reed? Are we letting the energy flow through us with non-attachment, or do we want to put an ego in? Oh my God, I'm scared because I might get it wrong. Well, if it's divine energy, then how can the divine energy get it wrong? Well, the only way you can get it wrong is we're in the way.
Yeah, I remembered what you said about the water, about it not needing the water to be in a certain spot and go looking for the water rather than ask for the water where I want it to be. So when I located the diamond last night and drew the spot on the map, then I just prayed before I went to bed that for everything to clear away from it, and for it to be seen, if it wants to be found, that it can be seen, and just for divine to bring this to the surface so that this lady can find this diamond and then step out of the road, I guess. And that was the only thing that could that was the only thing that could actually ease that fear inside of me.
That's a nice way to do it. Yeah. Like when we were working with the horse, does the horse want to be found? I mean, you're in Australia. Lots of things want to do walkabouts, right?
Yeah.
And they just go. They just disappear. They're on a walkabout. They
As
may
soon
show
as
up
she
and
told
they may not
me
show up.
As soon as she told me about her diamond at the course, I just felt into it, and I could feel, I said to her, do you realize that that's a crystal? And she said, no, I didn't realize that. And I said, that diamond came out of the earth. Did you think that because it was your grandmother's that it has, I could feel straight away that, do you feel that it's carrying an energy, and maybe it needed to go back into the earth for a while to release that energy, and maybe it'll come back to you in a new, fresh way. That it's not
I heard that story somewhere.
Sorry?
I think I heard that story somewhere.
You were telling me about your crystal skulls.
I know, I was teasing you.
Yeah, so it just came, as soon as she told me about it, I could actually feel the energy within the diamond that was carrying from her grandma. And when we spoke about my ring carrying, the black onyx carrying energy as well. And as soon as she told me about it, I was just like, oh, it wants to actually go back into the dirt for a little while.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. And then it may reappear. Yeah. Isn't it interesting that, when we let go of the fact that, what we think is inanimate objects, and realizing that they're all alive and that we can talk to them and they're perfectly capable of communicating, what an amazing world that we can live in, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that they have a vibration and a frequency as well.
Right. Yeah. And they have above evolution consciousness that they're going through too, right? We're not just the only ones that are evolving in consciousness. All the elementals are, and all the crystals are as well. So, and even the animals. I mean, if you think about a dog, a dog wants to work with humans because it gets an opportunity to upgrade, right? In its evolution of consciousness, right? As it climbs the ladder of awareness. So, crystals wanting to work with humans makes sense too. And I can understand that some crystals just have another function, which is, say, protecting the planet or grounding the planet or moving the energy through the crystalline structure of the planet. They may have different roles, and they don't really want to be messed with by humans, right? It depends on what's the function of the crystal. And I think it's important to ask the crystal, do you want to come home with me, or do you want to do this or do that, right? Otherwise it will go on a walkabout. Yeah,
and I could feel that my ring, that I was relying on that ring because it was my grandmother's. I had put all this weight on its shoulders pretty much, and I was relying on it, and that it was a symbol of my spirituality. Yeah. And I feel like it was taken away, so that focus comes back inward on me, and I look back inside myself and not out to this object, to this crystal that represents my spirituality. So when this lady told me about her ring, I could really feel her connection to her grandmother, and how she was outsourcing her spirituality, and that now it's time for her to actually see this within. So it was a pretty
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to go over and see if anybody's asked any questions in the group, and I'll be back in a sec here. So you can phone in toll free 1-866-369. This is Tyson Bannigan. This is the Healing Hour, and you can phone in toll free, like I said, 1-866-Dowsing or 1-866-369-7464. The number is also in the comments wherever you're watching the show, or you can do it by clicking the link and coming and joining us that way. Or you can type in your comments in the Dowsing and Energy Healing closed Facebook right under where you're watching this video. So let me just see here. Babakar, Bojan, beautiful thing. Well, thank you. And Annette, welcome. You haven't typed in any requests that I can see. Lizzie, same with you. Don't forget you can phone in or ask questions. All right. So I don't see anybody asking any questions. Let's scroll down and see if there's anything else with regard. Yeah, I just came across a post that I found really interesting because actually 4 years ago, I became certified in clearing toxic emotions. One of the things as being an empath and wanting to work with other empaths was the desire to help empaths get out of their own way and not feel overwhelmed by everybody else's energy, to know what was their energy and what was somebody else's. And to know that a lot of what we picked up, because we were hypersensitive between the age of 0 and 7, and we didn't really understand language when we were talking about nonverbal communication and non-language today in both the interview and during the show, that we, between the ages of 0 and 7, we can pick up a lot of emotions from what people tell us of those in authority. It could be a teacher, it could be, preschool, it could be our parents, it could be a playground or whatever, that we pick up an emotion that we misinterpret. And a toxic emotion is strong enough that it literally inscribes our DNA and begins to run like an endless loop in the subconscious. And so being able to know how to relieve these toxic emotions is really, really important. So I help people do that. And we really look for what was going on between the ages 0 and 7, or it could be in the womb, and it could be also past life, it could be future life, but where is the source of this trauma, which has created these toxic emotions, which are not really correct? And then how can we then alleviate it? Because if we can find the dominant toxic emotion, it's like a domino effect. Once we get the first one, then all the rest fall over and the person is freed up. So that's really one of the ways that I like to help people clear and take back their personal power. The other one, while I'm at it, is quantum sound therapy, which is using your voice to be your guide. I record your voice and show you what's going on in your voice at both the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, and future possibilities. I can tell you whether you're in your emotional body or whether you're totally in your physical body. Most people aren't. We're talking about that in the interview, that 75% or more of the population is not in their body. They're not grounded. And they're either in their head or they're in their emotional body. So helping people get back in their bodies really helps them sort of reincarnate or become more fully alive and participate on this planet. So those are some of the things, ways that I use to help clear people. Also, there's still room. Trudy and I are doing the boots on the ground boots on the ground geomancy certification course. If you'd like to come and join us, that would be great. Looking for more people to join us so we can have great conversation and learn the 12 branches of geomancy, which is house clearing properties. We're talking a bit about that on the last show during the interview, and looking at people's houses. And a lot of them that we were looking at were anywhere from 75% or 50% toxic. So it means if you're living in that environment, that if it's 50% negative, that means that it's literally like a sieve. It's draining the energy from your body. All right. So I don't see anybody else. I'm going to scroll back up one more time and see if there's any typed in comments. Otherwise, we're going to go back and have some fun with those that have joined us on the Zoom call. And don't forget, you can click the Zoom link wherever you're watching this show. It's in the description of the Healing Hour, and you can join us there as well. So I'm just gonna, like I say, scroll back up at the top here and see if there's any more comments. All right, here you go. Ron, welcome to the show. 7 comments, see if we got them. From last week was an attachment from the person from a past life. He was entangled with fractured aspects in a grid. All cleared, sealed. If there are any more attachments or monies on their way, I get 90%. Okay, I'll just tune in for you, Annette. So how's the money flow? Are you 100% clear? Yes. You know, the nice thing about this, Annette, is if you think you're clear, you're clear. I mean, if you get to create your own world, when you think you're done, you're done. When you think you're clear, you're clear. What could be better than that? Okay, so Lizzie, oh, I would love to do the voicing for me and also how to do this for others. Have a group of Native women I'm helping or trying to. Yeah, okay, well, then why not? I'll give you a link to book a session. It ain't cheap. It's $250. It's about anywhere from 60, that's about an hour long, and it's about a 1 month's worth of work. And you also have structured water, 8 ounces of structured water, which makes 8 American gallons. So you're drinking 5 or 6 glasses of structured water, which has your intention in it, which flushes out what no longer serves you, the toxins at the cellular level, instills your attention at that level, and hydrates your cells. Most of us are not hydrated. So yeah, I'd love for you to do it. My money flow seems to be blocked again. All right, Leslie, we'll do a clearing around money. Okay. Okay, thank you, Annette. All right, so here goes the clearing on money. So here goes. So I, Tyson Bannigan, my holy name on behalf of everybody on this call, and if you could say I and state your name and your holy name, join me. And if you have a pendulum, spin it counterclockwise. Undertake a clearing of any and all intrusions into my energy field for any and all sources that may be intruding in or blocking the divine flow of my energy, which results in money. And of course, there's a connection between loving yourself unconditionally and your money flow. So I would check also on a scale of 0 to 100, how much are you actually loving yourself unconditionally? Because if you don't love yourself, then you cannot receive, because you are, if you don't love yourself, you're blocking the ability to be loved. And money is another way of receiving love, or how we monetize love. I know that sounds crazy, but it's all interconnected. It's pure divine energy just because we put it in the form of money. So if you can't receive and you're not open to being loved, then you can't, the divine flow is being blocked. Hopefully that makes sense. So anyway, back to I, Tyson Bannigan, in my holy name, on behalf of everybody on this call or listening to this call now in the future, undertake a clearing of all non-beneficial energies from any and all sources, known or unknown, that are blocking the divine flow of money, prosperity, and abundance, and undertake this clearing through the multidimensional levels of reality and throughout all timelines, past, present, and future, and through the matriarchal, patriarchal lineages of my soul family, my star family, and my family of origin. And I cut all ties from any and all beings that may be obstructing my divine flow of energy. And I undertake this clearing through all the undertake this clearing throughout all time, space, and dimensions, both known or unknown. I declare it so be it, and I'm still spending independent. Declare it so be it. It is done. Thank you. Okay, so I'm stopping the swinging the pendulum, letting the pendulum rotate on its own, which indicates to me that there's still energy that's being cleared. I'm using the chakra pendulum. I grab the 3rd bead, so that's the 4th chakra. So we're clearing the 4th chakra, which is the root of this problem. Okay. All right. Always be in your heart. All right. There you are. There you are. Clear. All right. And if you could copy this down, or head over to the Dowsing and Energy Healing Closed Facebook group, and in the files, download it. You can do this, and I'd repeat this for 21 days straight, just so that you're entraining your subconscious to run this program 24/7, 365. But remember, it all depends on whether you actually can love yourself unconditionally. All right, we're back over here. Welcome back, ladies. I'm back over in your part of the world after playing in the other world of Facebook. So, did any comments about abundance and loving yourself and all that good stuff? Took me a long time to figure that out, that there's a direct connection between abundance, a divine flow of energy, and self-love. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, definitely. And I do know that's one of the things I keep telling people, if they want anything from love to abundance, it's how much you love yourself, then get it back.
Absolutely.
It's a direct correlation, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it maybe even more than one-to-one. I'm not sure. I mean, it says in the Bible, right? Cast your bread upon the water and it will be return tenfold. So maybe there's even a multiplier in that. But even one-to-one would be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, oh, God, yes, absolutely. So
Yeah.
we need to become love buddies. We need to love ourselves unconditionally.
And it works like a, where they throw the stone in the water and the rings go out.
Yeah.
So the more you love yourself, the more other people can love.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more they can love, you allow them to love you too, right? So, and the more they feel loved, that you haven't even said anything or done anything, they just pick it up.
Yeah, and that's your quantum, right? You're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about quantum sound.
Yeah, quantum sound healing. I love quantum sound healing because I'm just helping you be guided by your own voice. What could be better than that, eh? If your inner guide is helping you do all the clearing.
Yeah. It makes a great deal of sense, actually. Yeah, that because our bodies know everything about us, our subconscious, like you said, or super conscious, it would come through our voices. It would come through the way we move, the way we move our hands even.
Yeah, it's like fractals, right? Mm-hmm. So they say there's more information in your voice than there is in your fingerprint.
I know. I would say that. I mean, I know I haven't listened to myself a great deal until I started doing the interviews, and I'm going, oh, I sound like that, do I?
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it?
A little bit, yes.
Who is that weird guy, anyway? And I know when my partner's here and she said, and I'm editing the video and I got to listen to myself for the fourth time as I'm editing, I think, oh my God, who is that guy anyway? He does go on. He does rattle on. He's on his soapbox again.
Yeah, but you're really good at your soapbox, so that helps. I mean, the people were enjoying you thoroughly on my Be Live, but I try to do it from a third person perspective when I have to listen to myself. I just pretend I'm the third person.
Yeah, you're the third person.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about Trudy? Do you think there's a connection between loving yourself and the flow of divine money and divine energy?
Yeah, I think definitely when you're loving yourself and putting what you actually love to do, and you're detached from the matrix and you can actually just be in your divine flow, how that just circles around and everybody that you need just draws to you and starts to just attract this magnetic energy that you really can't deny. Once you start getting into that, you step into that divine flow and then you step out of it, it's really noticeable when you're in and when you're out.
Absolutely. And that's why I love this book, Letting Go, is it really helps you deal with any one of those emotions and how to get back into the divine flow and how to have ease and grace happen in your life, which is, it's almost like having abundance being delivered by UPS to your front door. I know in my life that when the flow is happening, I have to be taking things out the back door because there's too much stuff coming in the front door. Furniture is being gifted, and this is being gifted, that's being gifted, and it's sort of like having to give it all away, right? To let more come in. So it's exciting that way to have your life full of abundance, and Yeah, and why not? It's our birthright. It's really why we're here, and not to have that, it means that we're blocking it in some way. And unfortunately, our culture does everything to teach us the opposite things about the laws of attraction. So it was interesting to do some interviews around the law of attraction and to realize that how addictive we are, and that little simple things we can do for ourselves to make it more luxurious for us to remember how beautiful we are and how privileged we are. So immediately after the interview that I did on that, I went and bought myself a machine to make myself latte coffee so I can wake up and spoil myself rotten every morning. And another one that he was suggesting is, why not buy the best towels that you can, so every time you get out of the shower, you have the most luxurious towels that you could ever imagine, or the most luxurious sheets. Why are you, and if I look into my cupboard here, I've got the most ratty looking towels on the planet, right? Why is it that I don't love myself enough to give myself the luxurious towel of getting out of the bath? So there's all sorts of nice little, he calls them life hacks that you can do to remind yourself that you are abundant, that you are prosperous, and that you can live this life of luxury. And why not start doing it now? It doesn't have to be complicated, right? I like that.
Or expensive.
Or expensive, right? Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't, we can tell ourselves, oh no, it's too expensive to do that for ourselves. But even with food, I had this with food, and I had this belief, this set-in belief that it's cheaper to eat in an unhealthy way. And I was like, where has that come from? Like, where does that come from? And yeah, when I start buying fruit, and I'm like, when I buy enough fruit for one day, or fruit and vegetables for one day, and add that up, I'm like, that's heaps less than I was spending before. And it's so much more, it feels so much more loving to myself. But I was telling myself that I couldn't afford that, or I couldn't afford good water, or it was just, yeah.
It's sort of ridiculous, isn't it? Because, you're going to pay for it at one end of the scale. Either you're going to stay healthy with good food, right, good water, or you're going to have poor food and poor water and be unhealthy later. So either way, you're paying for it.
Yeah. Tyson, can we talk about? Do you have much to share about loving your name?
Yeah, absolutely. Amy Jo Ellis has a whole thing around your name, right? And your name is really, really critically important to be 100% aligned with your name. And so have you done that work with her, or do you know about that?
No, I haven't, but just recently it's come up, and I'm looking at, I can really feel naming my business. I'm thinking about getting an ABN today and sitting down and doing that. And I'm really tossing up whether I actually want to be a business name, or I really feel that I want to be my own name. But I can feel that there's something there, like a resistance or something there that needs to clear, or I need to sit better with my name. But I feel like I really want to truly and authentically be me.
Right. Yeah, I highly recommend that for your first website, it be your name, right? Always have your name, so that, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're selling postcards or whatever, you can always come back and change the website, which has your name on it. So I highly recommend that be your first website. So let me just see. So on a scale of 0 to 100, is Trudy your first name?
Yes.
Your birth. Okay, so I'm just going to check alignment between you and your birth name is 100%. So do you have a middle name?
Jean.
Jean. So alignment with Jean is not as good, it's 75%. Do you ever use Jean?
No, I never use my middle name.
Do you sign legal documents with it?
I sign my signature with TJ. It's just a T and a J riding over the top of each other.
All right, well, let me just, we'll do the first, we'll back to that in a minute. So do the last name. And your last name, you're only 75% aligned with that. So is it your maiden name or which name is it?
That is my maiden name. Yeah.
Okay, so there's
It feels like I was
some
really proud of it before, and then I was married, and I really felt like I lost my identity when I was married, and when I was divorced, I just wanted my original name back so much. But when I got it back, I don't feel as attached. I just feel like it's not the pride there that I had before I was married.
right. Well, that we could do some clearing around your name. So let's just see. So the first question I ask, is there anything we need to know before we clear? And I get no. Okay, so are we ready to clear? Absolutely. So do you know how to name?
Pardon?
Do you know how to clear your name?
No, I've never done anything around my name.
Do you know how to use a pendulum?
Yeah, I sure do.
All right. Where's your pendulum?
Yeah, here.
Okay, great. Okay, so how would you clear your name? If you knew how to clear your name, how would you do it?
I would ask Divine Source to assist me in clearing my name through all time, space, and dimensions.
Great. Okay, so do that. So say I, Trudy. Your
I,
full
Trudy
name, right?
Boga. I, Trudy
Would like to
Jean
clear-
Boga. In my holy name,
like to clear-
ask to clear my name.
Yeah. And who do you want to ask assistance from?
I ask divine assistance from Divine Father, Mother God, and all that is.
All right, great. And where do you think the clearing needs to happen?
It feels in my stomach.
Okay, great. And so I would say, so clear any emotional hooks or attachments that I'm feeling in my stomach that may originate from my matriarchal or patriarchal soul family, star family, or family of origin, or any other source, known or unknown. Okay. And I would also say, and I call a full court of atonement to put my name in all other beings of this name that may be associated with why I am called this name. So maybe there was your middle name came from Aunt Martha or Gertrude Stein, or I don't know, somebody else, that the family liked, that they had in mind and wanted to call you that. So there may be some energetic attachments to that. So we want to clear all that, right? Okay. And then we undertake this clearing throughout the multidimensional levels of reality and throughout all time, past, present, and future, known or unknown. And then I would say, I declare it so. So say I declare it
so.
So be it.
So be it.
It is done.
It is done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's tune into it and see. So Trudy's clear.
Yes.
And the last name is now clear. There was a lot of motion around that, right?
Yeah, I could even feel it around my first name, that the name Trudy comes from the name Gertrude, and that just come up for me in my body, and I hadn't actually even realized that before. So I can feel how I was like, I'm not attached to the full name, and my name's like shortened of a name.
Interesting. I have a silly story about Gertrude. When I'm dowsing, I would say, and so ask a question that's a no question. So I'd say, ask if your name is Gertrude. And somebody in the back says, my name's Gertrude. Whoops. All right. Anyway, moving on. So there seems to be alignment with your name. Now, what about your name? But you sign your name, what did you say, TJ?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see that. So what's the line with TJ? Oh, you're lucky. It's not a problem at all. Okay, great. You're good to go.
Yeah, I'm getting that's 100% for me now.
Yeah, so I don't know what it was, but I could feel you almost tearing up there. So there was a lot of emotion somewhere, some level of something or other that needed to be dealt with. So
I can feel the Geiger. I can feel with the Geiger. I can feel that there's shame and guilt there around things that my family's done and not wanting my name to be attached to them or have the same name as them. So when that was clearing, I could feel all this heat come up my arm and over my hand, and yeah, now I feel really good. Yeah.
yeah, you're going to create a whole new lineage. So there.
Hmm.
Don't forget, when you clear, according to Taoism, you're clearing, 7 generations going back and 9 generations in the future. So you're clearing hundreds of thousands of people just by clearing yourself. So you literally are creating a new lineage when you do the work that you're doing. So that's pretty powerful stuff. So coming in alignment with your name, it's like Amy Jo says, it's like your calling card or your business card. When you say, I, Trudy Geiger, in my holy name, you're saying, she doesn't put it that way. She says, say your name 3 times. So I, Trudy Geiger, I, Trudy Geiger, I, Trudy Geiger, is like your calling card to the universe that you're showing up, right? It's your vibration frequency.
I could feel when I was doing that, and I would say, I, Trudy Geiger, and that feels clear for me now. But before, when I was doing it, I feel like I was nearly choking on my words when I was speaking my name.
Right. Interesting, eh? All right. Now there you are. So I would do that as your website, and I would incorporate that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. All right, we still got 10 minutes to go. Elijah, any comments, any questions, any
I think
insights,
that about the name is really interesting. I actually legally changed my name way back when, because I despised my name that had been given to me by my parents, well, by my father, not my, and so the name I carry now, Elisha, is one I chose for myself.
Well, that's what I did too. I was born a Jeffrey Bannigan, Banigan. So I thought that somehow by changing my name, I could divorce myself from my lineage. It doesn't work that way, but in the 70s, I thought that was a possibility. And my son, one of my sons, got my name, so it's a whole new lineage. So changing it back is not really feasible, but so the mine was done with numerology and all the other good stuff or whatever. But from what I understand, both those names will run simultaneously. And interesting, in the Tao, all the ceremony is done and recorded under my birth name, not under my new name.
Oh.
But they only go by your birth name. So that's really interesting. So what I'm saying.
I just went and seen a Buddhist film called, I think it was called Walk With Me. It's just come out, and they were speaking. This name thing came up for me when I was watching that, because I see how they renounce their name when they take on like a Buddhist name, right? Because they're saying that your name is also part of an ego.
Right. Yeah. Well, we all want an ego. I mean, our ego is, what keeps us alive, right? So we don't fall off cliffs and do crazy things like that. So we do want an ego. We just don't want to be run by it. But that being said, I have a Buddhist name too. I can't remember what it is, but but we don't. Whatever our birth name, it still runs that energy, and we can add to it. So Elijah, whatever your name was before, you're carrying that vibrational frequency and this one. So hopefully they're not in collision course. I don't think they are. But it's interesting.
I've had it since I was like 26, Elijah.
Yeah, mine is when I was 23, I think. So
yeah.
When I was rebelling. Yeah. I like that horse is looking over its shoulder, so to speak, at you, right?
Do you think that changing the name has something to do with our generation?
Yeah, I think it does. I think that we were sick and tired of the way the planet was things were showing up on the planet, and I don't know about you, but I actually believed that it was all going to happen tomorrow. We were going to have the world changed like that. I was going to wake up in the morning and whew, that was it. It was done.
Yeah.
You know, now all these years later, you know, I'm still waking up with that hope, but I'm not quite as optimistic that it can happen quite that quick, right?
Yeah, I never had that feeling it would be an overnight thing, though there are still people who believe it. I always figured for people's sanity, it had to be done gradually.
Now I wanted it tomorrow, like tomorrow.
It would have been nice.
Yeah. And, you know, and even the thought of having to reincarnate to get the job done as well. And maybe I do it in another planet, but no, you know, if you're a bodhisattva, you're in it for the long run.
But when I started, I was like 25. The idea, we were trained, the people I was with were training to live off the land because they were 100% sure that the world was going to fall apart and there'd be explosions and earthquakes and hurricanes, and we'd never survive as a social unit. So
Well, you
we've
know,
come a long way.
I was just back east talking with Grandma Sasha, who is in charge of the Eastern Gate, which is the gateway to Atlantis. She still has the same message. You know, she thinks that we're 2 years away from major transformation on the planet, which may not be pretty. So that vibrational frequency is still quite strong. I took care of in the 70s of those that were on the road that were going back to the land and doing all those things for that reason. And I live in a place which is called the Gathering of the Eagles because it is a safe zone. Not that I have any fear about it, but it's a safe zone for whatever the transition will involve, right? So, you know, I'm not overly optimistic that it will be overnight, but, you know, I'm up for it. Let's put it that way. I'm ready for it.
But David Wilcox keeps talking about that flashpoint. I still don't believe it, but I don't think we're going to. I personally don't believe we're going to have the 8-point hurricanes and things like that will devastate the world to a point where there's no social systems.
I don't think so either because, you know, I teach people how to change weather, and I'm a weather changer myself. So,
yeah,
you know, that would be disproving that we can't work with the elementals, which seems crazy. You know, we know how to work with elementals.
Well, my middle daughter could do that naturally when she was a child. Then she talked herself out of it, unfortunately.
Oh, no, let's talk herself back into it because it's
trying. But yeah, she'd say, I don't want it to rain. And the rain would go around us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you put it back the way it was when you're finished. When she said, have it go around her is exactly the way you do it. You don't stop in the rain, you just have it go around you.
Yeah. But I'm pretty certain she had learned this in the previous lifetimes. So
yeah, she just got herself scared. No, it's something that's I think it's very important, is especially now that, you know, using HARP and all these frequencies to literally amp up hurricanes and move them. Then the greatest power on the earth is our consciousness. So it behooves us to know how to work with weather and to deactivate that craziness, right?
Well, HARP was supposed to have created the earthquakes in California just the last ones that were out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a friend who was part of the whole movement in the 70s, which literally was stopping the Amchitka. The Amchitka blast was supposed to nuclear blast, and the Aleutian Islands was supposed to split the San Andreas Fault, and they work as a group collectively. And talking about Kundalini, they generated group Kundalini, right? Like literally burning, their bodies is absolutely burning, like on fire, right? To counter the activity of the black musicians had the intention of doing that. The trouble with doing that is they came under a lot of attack, right? I teach people not to do that. I'm more of a stealth warrior. I'm below the horizon.
I agree with that.
But I don't do anything where there's going to be a backlash, right? I don't poke the bear. Or
That's the safest. I agree. That's the safest way. I mean, there might be some people out there who need to poke the bear so that they draw attention away. But
Yeah,
training
yeah,
more people to be spiritual, I think, will be the answer.
absolutely. And being the stealth warrior means you do all the work, but you're not taking credit for it, and you're not above the horizon making waves. That's all.
Yeah. That was
Well,
one of the all right, it's time for you to go off, right?
pretty soon, but you can wrap her up. You got one more.
Okay, well, I was just going to say that was one of actually one of my blocks is that I didn't walk to be seen. So one of my ladies who does theta healing did a clearing on me for that. I still prefer to be less than seen, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think myself, I live literally in paradise. And I can say paradise because the point in the lake that's beside me is called Paradise Point. So I can say I live in paradise. But in many ways, I live in paradise. But this is my sanctuary, right? So I get to sort of come into my womb, so to speak, or into my tortoise shell, because I'm a turtle type person, to re-nourish myself. But I am basically reclusive. You would never really know it. But yeah, I think as empaths, we need that revitalization. We need to be able to charge our batteries because we put a lot of energy out when we do the shows that we do, and we help the people that we do. We're front and center and stepping over the horizon for that short period of time.
Yeah. And even though we are the old guard and the new guard is more powerful, I find, than we are, we're still growing, we're still expanding, and we're still cutting edge.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
We're the reshowers. Hopefully by us teaching others, that'll be much easier for them. They won't go through all the school of hard knocks and learn the hard way.
It better.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. This stuff is not rocket science. We want to teach you the quickest, simplest way to do this, right?
Occam's razor.
Yeah. So ladies, thank you for showing up. It's a wonderful conversation. Lots going on, and what a beautiful world, and what a nice conversation. So thank you all. Same time, same place next week. This is Tyson Bannigan, the Energy Detective. This was the Healing Hour. Until next week, be safe and sound. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. This is your host, Tyson Bannigan, the Luminator, your #1 health, wealth, and enlightenment activator. Need some help? Give me a call toll-free, 1-866-369-7464. The Healing Hour, brought to you every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. During the show, you can phone in toll-free in North America, 1-866-369-7464 or 1-866-1000. The Healing Hour is live on Facebook, hosted by the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy and sponsored by the Facebook page, The Healing Arts Academy. Produced by The Wellness Show, and until next Tuesday, same time, same place, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.